In this video, we'll be hunting 2 boxes of pennies, as well as seeing how much progress we can make to the Penny Hunt and Fill album. Of course, we'll be looking for any wheat scents from 1958 or older. We'll also be looking for any foreigns, proofs, errors, or varieties, or any other interesting things we can find, as well as pulling aside any copper we get, seeing how much we can fill up the copper jar. Have checked for enders for these 2 boxes. We do have 4 enders for both boxes, which is an awesome sign for the hunt. Box number 2, we have 2 Canadian enders right there from the 70s. And in box number 1, I'm pretty excited. We do have 2 wheat scent enders. One right there, both reverse facing, so definitely a great sign for the hunt with 4 enders, especially for the first box of them being wheat scents. So let's get the hunt started with box number 1, and I'll bring you in on the first find. Roll 2, the first wheat scent of the hunt is going to be an older one, which is an awesome sign for sure. Just uncovered it. It is a 1936 out of Philly. It is a common one, but any pre-40s wheat scent is a great sign, especially for the first one of the hunt. It's a great way to start box number 1. Just opened roll 10, and I see the edge of wheat scent number 2 for the hunt. A few coins in from the front of the roll right here. And this one is 1954 out of Denver. Roll number 12 is going to give us the third wheat scent of the hunt. It is pretty damaged, and I have already taken a closer look at it, and I believe it's going to be a 1945 from Philly. Just opened roll 14, and I see the edge of wheat scent number 4. This time it's going to be in the back of the roll, right here. And this wheat scent is a 1946 out of Denver. Roll 23, and I did just uncover another wheat scent. But first, a couple rolls ago, I did pull out this. It's a 1975 Denver, and you can see the Denver mint mark is kind of far down and to the right, and I've never seen a mint mark that far off on a memorial scent. Obviously, it has a bunch of damage on it, so I doubt it gives it any extra value, but just something interesting I pulled aside. Anyways, I did just uncover another wheat scent. This is going to be number 5 for the box. Didn't notice it by the edge at first, but did just uncover it. And this one is another 1954 from Denver. Just opened roll 26, and I see the edge of the 6th wheat scent of the box right here near the back of the roll. And this time we're going to have another 1945 out of Philly. Roll 28 was the first wheat scent ender of the box. Just opened the roll, and I don't see anything else, but we do have that wheat scent that was on the end. This is wheat scent number 7 for the box, and it is 1947 from Denver. Roll 32, it's not another wheat scent, but I just opened this roll. We're going to get the first older Canadian of the hunt right here. It's going to be a young head. It's not in the best shape, a little bit damaged, but it still is the first older Canadian of the box. It is a 1963. Roll 34 was that second wheat scent ender for this box. Just opened the roll, don't see anything else, but we do have the wheat scent on the end. This is wheat scent number 8 for the box, only 2 more for double digits. This one's pretty nice, probably from the 50s, and it is a 1950 from Denver. Roll 41, just uncovered, wheat scent number 9 for the hunt. Only need 1 more for double digits now, which is awesome. This one is a 1951 from Philly. Roll 46, this time it's not a wheat scent, but we do have a variety found for the hunt. It's a 2009 DDR on this coin right here, 2009 Philly formative years. If I put it under the scope, you can see some pretty clear doubling of the extra thumb in between the thumb and the rest of the hand. It's kind of hard to see because the condition isn't the best, but you can see kind of a triangular kind of piece sticking out past where the thumb is. Did look it up on Variety Vista, and this is the DDR050 or the FS804. You can see it better here, that kind of extra finger in between the thumb and the hand, a lot better on this example, more than mine because mine's not in the best shape. But if I bring it back into focus, you can kind of see that spike past the thumb in the middle of the hand right there. As I said, it's in pretty rough shape for being from 2009, so it's probably only worth maybe a couple bucks at most, but it is a variety found for the hunt. Don't find varieties every hunt in pennies for sure. That is an awesome find. First penny box for the video has been hunted, and it was a pretty good box. Did end up getting 9 wheat cents, so we failed to get double digits, but that's alright. Got some other finds to make up for it. One of them was a little bit older, 1936 out of Philly. Not for the album, but great to see a pre-40s wheat cent for sure. Other finds, we did get a few Canadians as well. It looks like 7 all modern ones and one 1963 Younghead, which is cool to see. And a couple of other miscellaneous finds. We got that 1975 Denver with the mint mark kind of off down to the right, and I don't think I've ever seen one that off before. Probably not worth anything with the damage, but kind of cool to set aside. And we also did get that 2009 Philly DDR, which is cool to see as well, although it's not in great shape. So, first box down, pretty decent box. Let's move on to box number 2 now. We do have 2 Canadian enders in this box, so I'll bring you in on the first find, box number 2. This is definitely a good sign for box 2. Just a few coins into the first roll. I already uncovered the first wheat cent for the second box. It is reverse facing, and it's going to be 1944 out of Philly. Roll 6, and I just uncovered the second wheat cent for the second box. This one is just from the 50s, 1953 from Denver. Just opened roll 11, and I see the edge of the third wheat cent for the second box, as well as another Canadian, which I'll pull out since I already have it here. The Canadian looks like it's going to be pretty modern, and it is just going to be a 2002 commemorative, and the wheat cent is right here. Again, this is the third one for the second box so far, and it is 1957 from Denver. Just opened roll 17, which was the first Canadian ender of this box. We're going to have another Canadian in the roll. It's going to be the oldest one of the hunt. Take out the ender first, which we already knew was in 1970. And right here, I already looked at the date. We're going to have a King George VI Canadian cent in 1950. King George VI Canadian. Does have a big scratch on the front, but you don't get a King George VI every hunt for sure. That is an awesome find. Roll 24. It's been a little bit since our last wheat cent, but we're going to get another older Canadian in this roll. Did already look at the date. This time we're going to have the second Younghead Canadian of the hunt. This one being in 1959. It's another great find. Hopefully we can get on some wheat cents though. Second box has come to an end, and unfortunately there is not a single wheat cent in those last 39 rolls of the box. So it was a pretty slow box, and they come like that sometimes. But anyways, let's get on to the wrap up. We ended up with 10 1959s, 18 estimates, as well as 22 2009s. Foreigns, we ended up with 18, with all of them being Canadian, so definitely no shortage of those in the hunt. Did get a few older ones as well, 1959 and 1963 Younghead, which are awesome to find, and a 1950 King George, which is super cool to find in the hunt as well. A few miscellaneous finds as well. Did get one 1960D small date for the hunt. Probably the best find in the hunt was that 2009 Philly DDR extra finger. There's a ton of varieties for this year. This is one of the major ones, which is cool. Although it's in rough shape, probably only worth a couple dollars at most. Still, probably my favorite find of the hunt. It's pretty cool to see a DDR. And also this 1975 Denver, which I mentioned earlier, does have that Denver mint mark kind of off down to the right. I don't think I've ever seen one that off before in the thousands of pennies I've gone through. It's pretty damaged. Doubt it's worth anything at all, but just kind of something interesting I pulled aside. Now for the wheat cents, unfortunately, very light for the hunt. Only 12 for the 2 boxes, which is my lightest hunt in quite a while, unfortunately. But we did at least get one pre-40s, 1936 out of Philly, but don't believe any of these are going to be for the album, so I don't know if we're going to make any album progress, but we'll have to see. Now, lastly for the copper, also a little bit light for the 2 boxes, probably about 75% of the jar filled, but still a pretty good amount of copper for my area, so definitely take that. So, I don't think we're going to have any album progress, but I'll go through the finds and see if we actually do. So, I'll go through the finds, and I'll bring you back with an update of the album. Just finished checking the finds against the album, and as I expected, we did not make any album progress in this episode. Hunts will be like this sometimes. Not every hunt is going to produce great finds, but you gotta hunt the bad boxes to get the good ones. This hunt definitely showed it. Hopefully we can get some good boxes coming soon, some more additions to the album. Anyways, I'll see you on the next episode of the Penny Hunt and Fill series.